What's up, guys? We are back with a full NBA slate here on Friday, October 25th. We're going to break down every game and look at bets on the side and over-under and throw some player props in there, so buckle up. We have a great video for you tonight. If you want to win all of your bets today, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that badge next to your comments really keeps me motivated to bring you the best information possible. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, NBA, NCAA football, UFC, NHL, and the MLB. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we'll give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into game one, guys. We've got the Brooklyn Nets going on the road to take on the Orlando Magic. Brooklyn, guys, they come into the season with pretty low expectations, and to be honest, guys, game one of their season pretty much came through delivering on those expectations. They found a way to lose late. It was a competitive game against the Hawks, but Brooklyn eventually lost 116 to 120. There were some positives in the game for sure, guys. I mean, we did see Cam Thomas continue to look like an absolute monster out there. 36 points, 7 of 13 from 3, 14 of 27 from the floor overall. He only had 2 turnovers in the game. An absolute monster performance there from Cam Thomas. The dude looks great. He looks great. I don't know if other teams are going to be targeting him in, terms of trades and stuff like that, or if, we're going to see the Mets just try to build around him, but he's starting to look like the kind of young guy that you want to build around because he can absolutely score the rock. So we'll see if that continues. We saw a middle of the road game there from Ben Simmons. 6 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So I guess not terrible. He was 3 of 4 from the field. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Ben Simmons does as the season progresses. He's not somebody that's played a ton of basketball recently. Schroeder had a pretty bad game out there, only 5 of 16 from the field. Dorian Finney-Smith didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and we didn't see anything we necessarily loved there from the Brooklyn Nets bench, although the bench was the only unit really that was putting up positive plus-minus numbers. So I guess we really shouldn't be saying anything too bad, guys. I mean, we saw Wilson look okay. We saw Claxton do some positive stuff out there, so we'll see how this Brooklyn Nets team continues to shape up, but obviously not a unit that I'm going to be super duper high on. They committed a ton of fouls in the game, allowing the Hawks to get to the free throw line 46 times. They did a decent job of defending the three-point line, I suppose, and they did force 16 turnovers, so I suppose that's something positive, but they really didn't have any answers for Trae Young, although, he made most of his hay there at the free throw line. Okongwu went absolutely nuts. They had 0 answer for him, so we'll see what we get from the Brooklyn Nets here in their second game of the season, but it doesn't get any easier, guys. They are going on the road in this one, and they are taking on the Orlando Magic, who come into this game fresh off of a season opening win there at Miami. They looked great in that game, eventually winning 116 to 97 against basically the full strength Miami Heat. Banchero looked amazing in the season opener. Franz Wagner looked very, very good as well, both posting insanely high plus-minus numbers. We saw some guys come off the bench. Gary Harris looked really good off the bench, and Black looked good off the bench. This is a solid unit. KCP, despite going 0 of 5 from the three-point line and 0 of 5 from the field overall, still posted a plus 24 plus-minus, guys. This is a absolutely stacked team. They were great in this game. They were dominant. They dominated the boards. They only turned the ball over 11 times, so things were even in terms of turnovers. They did a great job of limiting the Miami Heat. I mean, they didn't let, Miami shot only 32% from 3, and a lot of that, just a good amount of that was the bench. We didn't see anybody have a particularly great shooting night. They did a good job defensively against Butler and Rozier. Butler only scored, 3 points in the game, plus a minus 30 plus-minus. That's really, really weird. We are probably going to be targeting Jimmy Butler in some sort of a bounce-back spot here as soon as we get a chance. But yeah, guys, not loving, what we saw from the Heat, but definitely a great game there for Orlando. They continue to look like one of the most promising young teams out there in the Eastern Conference. So expecting good stuff from them, absolutely no doubt about that. They're a young team that's highly projected, to do well this season, and I don't see any reason that's not going to be happening. So yeah, guys, looking at the numbers numbers for this game. We've got the Magic as big favorites, minus 11.5 in this one. We've got an over-under of only 215.5. Brooklyn, they're 1-0 against the spread, 1-0 to the over. Orlando, 1-0 against the spread, and 1-0 to the over as well. And with a number all the way down to 215.5, I do think this is a game you might want to take a little bit of a look at that over. That's not a huge number. I don't necessarily think this is going to be a crazy offensive game, but I don't think that's impossible either. Orlando's going to score the ball. I do think we'll see them play much better defense against the Nets than we saw the Hawks do, but I have kind of a hard time thinking this is going to be an under game at that number, and we've seen a lot of teams going under. Like, I know we're only a couple games into the going over. I know we've seen only a few games so far this year, but we're seeing plenty of offense here in the early going. So give me a little bit of a taste there of the over, and I also think there's reason to go ahead and take the Orlando Magic at minus 11.5. Seems like they're going to score the ball just fine. They shot 49 threes, which is definitely a good development there for Orlando in terms of, upping that volume. And Banchero and Wagner both shot the ball great. They each shot 50% from three, so they'll absolutely take that. So go ahead and give me Orlando as a small lean and also a little look at that over. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors. The 76ers come into this game with all kinds of weirdness going on. They got dominated in game one there by the Bucks. It was not the full strength 76ers that we saw out there, guys. No Embiid, no Paul George. This is a weird start to the season. We got Embiid being investigated already. Basically, it seems like the 76ers just want to hold him out of as many games as they can here at the beginning of the season. They'll make up any injury excuse they can because they just need him healthy and ready to go there in the playoffs. And I guess I can't blame him too much, but you're kind of making a laughing stock here of the regular season. We saw Maxey try to do it all, shooting the ball 31 times in that tough loss. He posted a minus 13 plus minus rating, only made 10 of those shots. I think he's better than that, but when the defense doesn't have anybody else to concentrate on, Maxey is going to have something of a hard time out there. We didn't see anybody necessarily, go nuts off the bench, although we saw some bench guys, come in garbage time and maybe look like they deserve a little bit more of a look out there, but we'll see how that goes. Kelly Oubre did have 21 points there in the starting lineup, so yeah, searching for positives here for the 76ers, who shot only 8 of 31 from 3 in the game. It just wasn't a great showing. They did win the battle of the board, so I guess that's nice, but the defense, guys, was not there. They gave 124 points. They allowed Milwaukee to shoot 43.2% from long range. Bobby Portis had a big game. Giannis had a big game. Dame came out on fire, made 6 of 12 threes, 9 of 19 from the field, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. That's what they were hoping to see from Dame. And Brook Lopez was right there with 6 blocks. He had a great night. Like, this is a team that seems ready to go for the beginning of the season, which is a little bit surprising, to be honest, as a little bit sketched out. Just, all those weird things Giannis was saying and Chris Middleton not being back yet and all that stuff had me a little bit worried about the Milwaukee Bucks. They seem like they're okay. The Philadelphia 76ers do not seem like they're in very good shape, though, guys. Not loving what we're seeing from them at all. Maxey, really the only bright spot for them, or I guess an attempted bright spot. Eric Gordon looked terrible in the loss. Like, this is not a team that's going to have a very good time until they get Embiid and, Paul George back out there. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors, who maybe are the second weirdest team out there right now, guys, because they aren't going to have Quickly or RJ Barrett for this game, or at least that's what it's looking like. Both guys are doubtful with miscellaneous injuries. Quickly has a pelvis injury, and RJ Barrett still hasn't made his season debut. So things looking really weird. We saw Scotty Barnes get off to a terrible start in that 136-106 loss against the Cavaliers. He went 3 of 14 from the field, scored only 9 points, posted a negative 33 plus minus rating. He did have 5 assists and 6 rebounds, but also 5 fouls. Really the only guy that looked like he was even, trying out there. Toronto did shoot 38% from 3, I guess, on 12 of 31, but just no good things to report, guys. This Raptors team, the tanking is kind of feeling out of control right now, to be honest. The teams that are tanking or are doing these kind of things, are really disrespecting the regular season here. I mean, the Raptors not even playing guys, the 76ers not even playing guys here at the start of the season. If things happen in the preseason, I totally get it, like Hartenstein, that kind of stuff. The dude broke his hand, he can't play, but you've got guys just not even ready to go here for the beginning of the regular season, and the program, the franchise, whatever you want to call it, the team just isn't interested in pushing them to get back out there. They want to just wait and tank it out and improve their draft stock. So yeah, very, very low on both of these teams. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see Toronto getting either 3.5 or 4 points. We've got an over-under out there of 219.5. Both teams 0-1 against the spread. Both teams 1-0 to the over. And guys, in terms of the over-under here, I do think there's reason to look at over 219.5, as there's going to be very little defense played in this game, close to no defense whatsoever. So you could definitely interest me in an over here. You only have to get it to 220 total points, and you're right there. In terms of the side, I do lean a little bit towards the 76ers on the road in this game, since Toronto is just tanking it out so hard. But really, guys, not too interested in the side. I could see either team winning here. I do think we're going to see a good amount of offense. So my biggest lean in this one, definitely going to be that over. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. First of all, this is a great time to sign up at stumpthespread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers covering NFL, NCAA football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and Major League Baseball. If you just want to test out the service, a great way to do that is by joining our free email list, which will get you the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new, and become a channel member for early access to all of our NFL and NCAA football videos. Also, if you want to experience peer-to-peer sports betting while paying almost zero juice, click the link in the description and sign up at betopenly.com. Now guys, back to the games. Next up, guys, we finally get to talk about something positive. We've got the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Hornets come into this game fresh off of a Game 1 win, so that had to be pretty nice to see. A very solid 110-105 win there over the Houston Rockets. Obviously, you know, Charlotte coming into this game at full strength. LaMelo Ball, a great game, 34 points, posted a plus 14 plus minus, got to the line 10 times, made all of his free throws, was only 2 rebounds short of a triple-double there, as he had 11 assists. Absolutely great game from him. The bad news there is that injury to Brandon Miller, guys. You don't want to see injuries ever. You definitely don't want to see him right out of the gate. He's going to be out with that left glute strain, and I think we're going to see him miss significant time. That's not an injury that you usually bounce right back from. So we'll see how long he's out. That's not ideal, but other than that, guys, a very, very good game. You lose what is supposed to be your second best player, and you still, early in the game, you only played 11 minutes, and you still win the game. So that's pretty positive stuff. We saw Mann coming off the bench. He looked fantastic. 24 points, shot 50% from the field and 50% from three. So a good showing there for Trey Mann. And just up and down the roster, guys, lots of dudes chipping in. Bridges good, 10 points there, 9 rebounds, posting almost a double-double, +4 in the plus minus. Like, this team seems like it's going to try here. Seems like they're going to try. They didn't shoot a ton of threes, 15 of 39, so not bad. They did great on the glass, 56 rebounds to 43 rebounds there for the Houston Rockets. That was a big problem there for the Rockets. Sengun was balling out there, guys. The dude looked like a monster, but just not enough outside of him. So yeah, very happy with what we saw from Charlotte in Game 1. What are we going to see from them here in Game 2 as they take on the Atlanta Hawks, who come into this game fresh off that 120-116 win there over the Nets? Obviously, beating the Nets, not too big of a deal, but we did see some encouraging signs. Trae Young getting off to a hot start and being able to get to the line 16 times. That's what they need. That's how he's going to score his points. Do I love that that's how he scores his points? No, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to win. This isn't going to be a great three-point shooting team outside of Trae Young necessarily. I mean, they've got a couple guys, but they only shot 28 threes in the game. So that's definitely something we're going to be worried about here. And just generally speaking, I'm not in love with their depth. There are a lot of question marks for me about this team. We did see some good stuff from Clint Capella, but he only played 20 minutes. So I don't know how many minutes they're going to be looking to put him out there. Obviously, that pick and roll with him and, Trae Young is nice. But yeah, he was dealing with that ankle sprain throughout the preseason. I don't think the workload is going to be that heavy for him. It wasn't supposed to be limited coming into this game, and then he only played 20 minutes. So not expecting Capella to play, a huge minutes load, and I'm not expecting this Hawks team to be, necessarily great rebounding or great defensively, especially without him. They barely out-rebounded the Nets in Game 1, so how are they going to do rebounding against the Charlotte Hornets, who had such a good rebounding game last time? So we'll see how this matchup goes coming into this game. Guys, the Hawks are -5 or -4.5. We got an over-under out there of 231.5. Charlotte 1-0 against the spread. The Hawks actually 0-1 against the spread, and we've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. And with a number of 231.5, that seems like a lot of points to me, but neither one of these teams is going to play any defense, really, it doesn't appear. So guys, go ahead and give me a little bit of a lean towards the over in this game. In terms of the side, I honestly think we might want to be looking at the Charlotte Hornets here, getting 5 points. It seems like a spot they should be able to keep it pretty close. They seem highly motivated here at the beginning of the season. clearly, maybe clearly is a little bit too strong of a word, but I don't think they're going to be missing Brandon Miller too much here right off the bat. So give me the Charlotte Hornets to keep this game close here against the Hawks, who they're a team that usually wins one and loses one, and I could see that happening in this game for sure. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Pistons come into this game fresh off a tough loss on opening night, but definitely some positive developments. They only lost by 6 points against the Indiana Pacers. Thank you, Pacers, for covering there. We'll definitely take that win, but the Pistons did some positive things, which isn't something we could say about them last season. Getting, a toxic head coach out of there that was playing non-NBA level talent starters minutes definitely seems like it's helping, guys. Tobias Harris coming in, nice there, 13 points. Somebody in the comments was saying that Cade Cunningham not a monster. Well, he put up 28 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, and only turned the ball over twice. He went 10 of 23 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. I think that's pretty close to monster numbers there, and it's his first game of the season. He's still a young guy. He's got room to improve, and I think there's a good chance that he ends up doing that because I do think he's a monster. We saw Malik Beasley look good off the bench. We saw Jalen Duren play some very solid minutes, 13 rebounds, 13 points for him, a nice double-double. Tobias Harris, like I said, did some positive things out there. Having a nice, premium level role player is a good thing for this team. And yeah, Hardaway Jr. shot the ball relatively well, 4 of 7 from 3. He's somebody that is going to go nuts and win them a game every once in a while. So definitely liked what we saw from the starters, liked what we saw from some of the bench guys as well. I think this is a Detroit Pistons team that's definitely on the way up here, but they are going to get tested pretty aggressively here in Game 2, guys. They're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who got a big blowout win over the already tanking Toronto Raptors in Game 1. We saw very good stuff from Cleveland. They're on, kind of a revenge tour kind of, situation for this one. We saw, Mobley looked really, really good. 1 of 2 from 3, 9 of 14 from the field, 25 points, and he posted a plus 31 out there in the plus minus. So very, very good stuff from him. 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Obviously a great game. We saw Garland looked pretty good. He only went 1 of 6 from 3, so not a transcendent night from him by any stretch, but I think he's, maybe a candidate for some bounce back. He did have 6 assists and posted a positive plus minus. We saw Donovan Mitchell have a very good game as well, guys. 2 of 5 from 3, 7 of 14 from the field, 21 pretty efficient points there, and he posted a plus 31 as well. We saw the bench look dominant. It was a big Karis LeVert game, 19 points off the bench and 4 assists. He went 8 of 9 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3. Yeah, Jerome looked good. Just a lot of positive nights here. Niang looked good, 4 of 5 from the field. This team seems like it's firing on all cylinders. We got to take it with a grain of salt, guys. They obviously just played against the Toronto Raptors. They didn't play against a real team yet, but are they playing against a real team here in their second game of the season? Kind of hard to say. They are getting to play at home in this one. They didn't have to travel too far for this game either, so yeah, I think we might be looking at a pretty good spot here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They seem motivated right out of the gate, and they're going to be in front of their home fans for this one. Looking at the trends, Detroit, they're 0-1 against the spread, 1-0 to the under. Cleveland, 1-0 against the spread, and 1-0 to the over. In terms of the over-under here of 224.5, I'm going to lean just a hair towards the over, but that's mostly because I think we're going to see Cleveland score a lot of points, guys. Go ahead and give me the Cavaliers here at -10. This one's got a decent chance to end up in the pinned comment. I do think Cleveland is going to get off to a pretty good start here with back-to-back, relatively easy opponents. I do like what I'm seeing from Detroit, so I'm not going to say this is necessarily a slam dunk spot, but I do think we'll see Cleveland get a comfortable win here. There's going to be some matchup problems there. They don't really have the talent level that Cleveland has at the moment, and Cleveland's got plenty of size to deal with, kind of that size there that Detroit has. So go ahead and give me the Cavaliers here at -10. Jumping in with our first ever sportsbook ad, guys, and I am super excited to tell you about Bet Openly. They are unlike any regular sportsbook out there. Their whole goal is to facilitate peer-to-peer betting, so instead of them having a vested interest in you winning or losing your bet, they just want to match you up with a real person who wants the opposite side. At Bet Openly, you will be paying drastically reduced juice on your bets, close to 1% instead of the 10% you would pay at any of the big guys. Not having to fight that built-in house edge sounds pretty great to me. Bet Openly supports all your favorite bets, including props and parlays, and get this, guys, you can even be the house on parlays, meaning you only need a single leg to win to cash your bet. Most importantly, Bet Openly will never limit your account for being a consistent winner, which is something that happens all the time on the bigger sites. If you're interested in signing up, click the referral link in the description of this video and let's cash some bets. Now, guys, back. Next up, guys, we got the Indiana Pacers going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. This has to be one of the most exciting games of the night, and no wonder it got chosen to end up on ESPN. The Pacers come into this game fresh off of a win there in Game 1, obviously taking down the Detroit Pistons, but it was a close game. They ended up winning by 6, just barely enough to cover. We'll definitely take the win there, but man, it was a little bit scary. They had to outscore Detroit 33-19 to get the convincing win. It was looking sketch. We saw some clutch threes down the stretch there, or one clutch three actually from Halliburton, who had a terrible shooting night. He went 1 of 9 from deep, only 6 of 18 from the field. He posted a plus 15 plus minus, and really the starters posted very solid numbers. A good game there from Siakam, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. They're going to be leaning on him to continue to put up, very solid assists and scoring numbers. Nesmith didn't do too much, only took 4 shots in the game, so that was a little bit weird. Gonna have to dive a little bit deeper into that one. Unfortunately, this wasn't a game that I got a chance to watch the entirety of, but we'll see, if there's any weird injury news or anything like that. No, it seems like he's fine. Yeah, no big concerns there. No concerns for any of the starters or really anyone important on this entire roster. So we're expecting a healthy Pacers team for this game. We'll see how they match up here. The bench looked pretty questionable. That was sketchy. Almost everybody in the starting lineup posted a positive plus minus, but almost everybody on the bench was a negative. Obviously, we expect to see better things from Halliburton and better things from several different guys on this roster, but Siakam, he is the solid one. We also saw good things there from Miles Turner. He was great out there. 20 points, a plus 20 plus minus. He only had 9, I say only, but he had 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks in the game. So very, very good stuff from him, and he could be a guy that could cause some problems here for the New York Knicks. We'll see how that goes, but that could be a very interesting matchup to keep an eye on. We saw good things from TJ McConnell coming off the bench, good things, very good things from Mathurin coming off the bench. That's a guy that should probably be, considered at least for some starting minutes. We'll see how that goes down the stretch, but he played great. 19 points, a plus 8, 2 of 3 from 3, 5 of 8 from the field, and he got to the line 9 times. So great stuff there. We'll see how this matchup here going on the road to take on the New York Knicks go. The Knicks are in a pretty big bounce back spot. They got handed a big fat L on opening night, having to go into Boston and take on the Celtics. They lost that one 109-132. Thank you, Celtics, for covering that one for us. The Knicks straight up did not have a good time, guys. Jalen Brunson actually had a pretty good night, put up some good numbers, 9 of 14 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 22 points, but a minus 23 out there, and really this was just a blowout. Miles McBride did his best. He was great off the bench, 4 of 5 from 3, 8 of 10 from the field, but they just could not defend the Celtics at all. Boston absolutely shot the lights out, made 29 threes in that game. We didn't see a ton of free throws in that game, which is a nice change from what we've seen generally speaking here, but it was a nightmare, situation for the Knicks. We saw Karl Anthony Towns struggle coming out of the gate, as we predicted he would do on his new team. Obviously, needing some time to find his feet. They got destroyed on the boards. I guess at the end it was only 34-40, but they were getting destroyed on the boards out there. That's a big concern. Anunoby was basically nowhere to be found. 4 points, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. They just got absolutely blitzed out there by the Celtics. Good news for Knicks fans. We did see Mikal Bridges knock down a couple of threes, so that's a good sign after the dude couldn't throw it in the ocean in the preseason. So we'll see what the Knicks can do in this matchup. They're getting a lot of respect from the odds makers. The Knicks are getting 4.5 or 5 points here playing at home. We've got an over-under of 225.5. First of all, guys, I think that over number is looking really, really juicy. I like over 225.5 in this game a lot. We'll see, if that ends up in the pinned comment. We're gonna have to, wait a little bit closer to game time to know for sure. In terms of the, the side in this game, I don't know, man. It feels a lot like this is a spot to go ahead and take the Pacers and the points in what I think will be a close game. Obviously, it is a big bounce back spot for the Knicks, but who do the Knicks really have that's going to guard Miles Turner? They've got, supposed to have good defenders out there, but this team just really looked shallow to me. Like, the bench looks much, much worse. Obviously, McBride looked very good coming off the bench, but other than that, no one impressed me at all. And yeah, campaign minutes at all, not really going to get me going. I don't think he's going to be somebody that's going to be very consistent. So go ahead and give me the Pacers here at +5. They're 1-0 against the spread. We've got mixed trends here towards the over-under. Obviously, kind of too early in the season to be talking about that kind of stuff too much, but I definitely think the over is a good play in this game. I am also leaning a bit towards the Pacers getting 5 points. Next up, guys, we got the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Houston Rockets. The Grizzlies come into this game fresh off of a very tight win there in game 1 at Utah. They won by just 2 points by the skin of their teeth. Super close stuff. We actually had the Jazz and the points in that game, so that win felt pretty good. They were +3, so they managed to keep it super close out there. We saw very good stuff from Santi Aldama. That was very impressive for him to come out and put up 27 points. Very underwhelmed with what we saw from Zach Edey. All that hype coming into the preseason led to him fouling out with a grand total of 5 points on 2 and 4 from the field. The dude couldn't make his free throw, so clearly dealing with some nerves. Like, this was a super obvious case of, hey, this is my first game in the NBA. I am freaking out here, and I don't blame the kid too much. Desmond Bane had a pretty good day, and they managed to win this game despite shooting only 17 of 45 from 3. So, I mean, I guess shooting 37.8% from 3 isn't terrible, but it's also not great. They also got out-rebounded by 9, a problem that is going to have to be addressed for this team. And obviously, you expect Edey to be in there and suck up a lot more rebounds than the 5 rebounds that he came up with. So, I'm expecting a much better game from him in this one. Time to calm down a little bit, not be so amped up. It's going to be a long season. Time to just relax. We didn't love what we saw from the Grizzlies bench. Obviously, this isn't a team that's got a bunch of great pieces coming off the bench, so we'll see how that develops going forward. But overall, it was great to see Ja Morant back out there doing his thing, and Desmond Bane with some help. They need Jaren Jackson Jr. to come back for this team to really unlock what it is capable of, and we'll see what they can get done here going up against the Houston Rockets, who come into this game fresh off of probably a pretty depressing loss in their opening game, guys, falling 110-105 against the Charlotte Hornets. Not the start they were looking to get off to, guys. This is a team that comes into the season very hyped up, and it did not deliver on that hype. I mean, we saw Alperen Sengun look great out there at different points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists in the game, 25 points, but yeah, Fred VanVleet, a terrible start to his season, 2 of 11 from 3. Yeah, just not a lot of positives. Jalen Green had a terrible shooting night. Him shooting 15 threes probably isn't what they want to see from him. 9 of 23 from the field, 28 points, so congratulations on that. But yeah, just not a very good shooting day, and just a little bit concerning. He took a lot of shots, didn't look great out there. Dylan Brooks only 1 of 6 from the field. Rough stuff out there up and down. The starters actually did post some positive plus-minus numbers, but the bench was a black hole out there. Asar Thompson, a -19. Eason, a -13. As a team, they only shot 30% from three-point range. They did manage to get out-rebounded by 13 as well. So a lot of concerns here for the Rockets. When you're only going to have Sengun in there rebounding, that's not going to get the job done, guys. You have to rebound as a team. So looking at the numbers for this game, we've got the Rockets -1.5. We've got an over-under out there of 217.5. That's a pretty small number, guys. So right off the bat, I'm going to be looking towards that over. I don't think we're going to see these teams struggle shooting the ball nearly as much as they did in game 1. I don't think we're going to see elite defense from the Grizzlies or the Houston Rockets. So we'll see how that develops. But I'm expecting much higher scoring than the odds makers are expecting. And in terms of the side, both teams are 0-1 against the spread. I think this is a decent spot to take the Memphis Grizzlies, getting a 1.5, or you can just go ahead and take them straight up. I think they win the game the vast majority of the time. I know the Rockets are supposed to be better. I did not like what I saw out there, but in terms of my favorite play in this one, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to tell you whether it's the side or the over-under, but I definitely think there's some value to be had. Next up, guys, we've got the Chicago Bulls going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bulls, man, it was a rough wash out there. We saw Zach LaVine go absolutely nuts to start off the game, kind of as I predicted, guys. I was saying he was the most disrespected star in the NBA, and he went nuts out there, getting off to a great start. Unfortunately, it did not, follow through for the rest of the game. It was a messy game for the Bulls, who turned the ball over 21 times. They had their chances in this game, but the second half just was, especially that third quarter, was just so rough. So many turnovers. They couldn't knock down any shots, shooting only 29% from three-point range. I mean, 5 of their 10 makes all came from Zach LaVine. Just rough stuff out there. Kobe White had a bad game. Just not a lot of positives. Vujicic posted a -14. Despite putting up his typical double-double, the dude just can't seem to really help the team that much. And the bench is going to be a big work in progress. It was great to see Lonzo Ball out there balling again. It was fantastic. It's super sad stuff with how much time he missed, but he's back out there getting to play the game he loves. It makes me very, very happy to see. So, yeah, in terms of everything else there for the Bulls, I mean, they won the rebounding battle. They did some good things against a pretty talented Pelicans team that was without Zion Williamson. So that's not the best look, guys. You would have thought they could have kept that game closer, and I certainly thought they would, but they had very few answers there for the super hot shooting of Brandon Ingram, who shot the ball extremely well. 13 of 23 from the field and 3 of 5 from deep. He posted a plus 18. So we'll see what we get from the Bulls in this one. I do expect them to bounce back a little bit. There are a lot of like miscommunication kind of turnovers. This team just has to get a little bit more used to playing together, and we'll see if they're able to do that here against a very tough opponent. They're taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, who come into this game after a nice win of their own. It's, apparently we're not still going to be seeing Chris Middleton. He remains sidelined there. We're not really 100% sure when we will see him back out there, but he is officially out for this game. The rest of the injury report, Giannis obviously going to always be on the injury report, and Brook Lopez there as well. Giannis is probable though, and Brook Lopez is also probable. So I think we're going to see basically the exact same Bucks team we saw in their season opening win, where they came away with a blowout win over the very short-handed Philadelphia 76ers, a 124-109 win. We saw big stuff from Dame, big stuff from Giannis. We saw Taurean Prince come in here and look very comfortable right off the bat, knocking down 4 of 5 threes. We saw Milwaukee make 16 threes in the game, shooting 43% from the field, or from 3, and they won the rebounding, or they were very competitive on the boards. They didn't win the rebounding battle, but they were right there, and yeah, they limited themselves to 14 turnovers, which obviously isn't amazing, but they were just able to completely overmatch a very short-handed Philadelphia 76ers team that didn't have their 2 best players. So we'll see what Milwaukee can do in this matchup, but I do think it's a relatively solid spot for them, but it's a lot of points, and it's early in the season. We'll see what we get from these two teams, but yeah, Milwaukee minus 9.5 in this one. We've got an over-under of 231. Chicago obviously 0-1 against the spread, 1-0 to the over. Milwaukee 1-0 against the spread and 1-0 to the over. I'm going to be siding here a little bit towards the over. It's not my favorite spot. I have plenty of question marks here about the Bulls' ability to score the ball, but anybody's going to be able to score the ball against the Milwaukee Bucks defense, which has fallen off a cliff over the last couple of years. So go ahead and give me a slight lean towards the over. And in terms of the side here, guys, I'm probably leaning a little bit towards Milwaukee, but I don't think it's a spot that I'm in love with at all. I could definitely see the Bulls keeping this one close after, having spurts where they played really, really well there in game 1. So yeah, give me Milwaukee as a small lean, and I definitely like the over. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We are looking at the Golden State Warriors going on the road to take on the Utah Jazz. Golden State got off to a great start to their season, with the one blemish being the absolutely insano, crazy person behavior of Draymond Green, who just insisted on picking up a technical foul in his first game of the season. I honestly think we need to see Draymond get his head examined. He is questionable for this game with a left knee contusion, and to be honest, I know the Warriors need his defense, but his erratic and insane behavior is really, really weird. Curry also questionable for this game with a right hip contusion, so we're going to have to wait around on this one a little bit. We have to get confirmation on whether 2 of the Warriors' most important players, obviously Steph, the most important player, whether or not they are going to be available for this game, because their availability could swing this thing a lot. Right now, the line being at plus 4.5 does make me think that the Warriors are going to have both guys playing in this game, but we'll have to wait and see. In game 1 of their season, obviously coming off of that nice win there over Portland. Obviously not the toughest opponent, but the Warriors put up 140 points to get the blowout win. Yeah, why is Draymond Green getting technical fouls in a game that they're clearly going to win by double digits? I have no idea, but yeah, Draymond, an okay day out there. He made his only 3 of the night, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, yada yada. Only played 20 minutes, so yeah, that was weird. Andrew Wiggins, a big bright spot for the Warriors, a great sign. Thank God we're seeing Andrew Wiggins actually try at basketball, guys. 8 of 15 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. I forgot Andrew Wiggins could make threes, guys. So a great development there. Steph kind of had a rough night, but he was mostly having to play distributor. He had 10 assists, 9 rebounds, and 17 points, almost posting a triple-double there on opening night. So that would have been pretty insane stuff. He was super close, but either Wiggins or maybe Buddy Hield were the most important things I saw from the Warriors in this game. Buddy Hield had a great night, blended right in with the offense like seamlessly. I know it was against the Blazers, guys, but it looked really, really smooth out there. He was 5 of 7 from 3, 8 of 12 from the field, 22 points. He posted a plus 21 scoring differential. Like, that was great. Podziemski was terrible in the game. He went 0 for 5, still posted a plus 35. You'll have crazy, crazy numbers like that when you have a big blowout game. So absolutely loved what we saw from the Warriors there in their season opener. And guys, we didn't hate what we saw from their opponents in this game. The Utah Jazz had a pretty good game, guys. They did lose by 2, losing 126 to 124 against the Grizzlies, but Utah does not seem like a pushover to me, guys. We saw them come out. I mean, Markkanen was great. Oh, it's so tilting to see him not on the Warriors, guys. 35 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He posted a plus 16. That was great stuff from Markkanen. I mean, 4 of 7 from 3. He got to the free throw line 14 times. This dude is looking like a monster. Keontae George had a rough game, only 3 of 18 from the field, and you can kind of put this loss on his doorstep. Jordan Clarkson looking like the gunslinger he always is, coming off the bench with 17 points. And yeah, we just saw, you know, maybe we saw what we expected to see really from this Utah Jazz team. You know, the starting unit looking pretty good, the bench looking a little bit thin. I think this is going to be kind of a dangerous team, kind of a tough out there in the West. So yeah, they looked very good on the boards, winning the rebounding battle. They only turned the ball over 14 times versus the Grizzlies 12, so that's not terrible either. Generally speaking, guys, a very nice night for the Utah Jazz. So looking at the numbers of this game, the Jazz are getting 4.5 points. We've got an over-under of 234.5. Guys, I definitely, think that with both teams 1-0 to the over, both teams 1-0 against the spread, I think over 234.5. It's a lot of points, obviously, but I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this game. I also think there's some reason to take the Jazz here at plus 4.5. Although the Warriors were looking so good, I'm going to reserve judgment on this game. Unfortunately, not going to be able to give you a play on the side until we get clarity on the availability of Steph and Draymond for this game. If they're going to be out, this is going to change a lot. That line's going to shift a ton. So I'm not going to waste everybody's time. We're just going to wait on this one and see what happens with the injury report. Next up, guys, we got the Phoenix Suns going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a big showdown here, guys. I mean, the Suns got a pretty close, like weirdly close win there at the Clippers. I know it was game 1 in the Clippers' new arena, but that was a crazy one, guys, because it was James Harden pretty much out there, by himself trying to do it all, which is, what you would have expected. But the Clippers didn't really have any great answers for that. They gave up 29 points to him, allowed him to go 10 of 28 from the field, which doesn't look great, but he also did a pretty good job of getting to the line, got to the line 9 times in the game. We saw the Clippers shoot 30 free throws, but the Suns shot 34, and this defense and this bench continue to be a concern, guys. KD, 25 points. That was nice. 24 points there from Bradley Beal. Kind of a down game from Booker, although he wasn't that assertive on offense. Only 9 shots in his 32 minutes. So, yeah, a little bit tilting, and he fouled out in the game as well, so that's not something you really expect to see from him, but the bench looked straight up not too good, guys. Pretty bad stuff out there. I mean, we did see Royce O'Neal post a plus 14 with 5 points, but he only was 2 of 5 from the field. He was the only, or him and Grayson Allen were the only bench players to make a 3. We saw, the Suns, they shot 15 of 38 from 3. Like, that's not terrible. They, they had a problem on the glass, guys. They got out rebounded 51 to 42. You got to rebound the ball a little bit better than that, and they had 22 turnovers. The Clippers had 21, so that shouldn't have been what sunk the ship, but it really made things super close there for the Suns, who needed overtime to eke out that 3-point win. So we'll see what they could do here going on the road to take on the Lakers, who have to be very pumped up here, going on, coming into the season with a win over the Timberwolves, a 110 to 103 win. JJ Redick getting a win there in his coaching debut, and guys, it looked pretty freaking good out there for the Lakers. Like, we definitely saw some problems there for the new look Timberwolves, but Anthony Davis looking absolutely like a monster. I would say it's probably his best game since back in the bubble. He only posted a +1, but he had 16 rebounds and 36 points. LeBron was more than willing to take a back seat. He only had 16 points in the game. We saw Hachimura look very aggressive there and play really well. He posted a +19 to lead the team in plus-minus. 18 points for him, 1 of 4 from 3, but 7 of 14 from the field, and just very good stuff from the Lakers, who turned the ball over 7 times in the whole game. I'd have to look back, but that might be the least turnovers that any team had in the NBA so far this season. A very clean game from this Lakers team. The bench looked not great, but serviceable. Jackson Hayes had some really big plays coming off the bench. Yeah, they hung right there in the rebounding battle with Minnesota, who should be a very good rebounding team, and up and down the lineup, guys, we liked what we saw, and the Lakers managed to win this game by 7 points despite going only 5 of 30 from 3-point range. Loved what I saw from the Lakers, guys. Loved what I saw from the Lakers. Dalton Connect 1 of 3 from 3 in his 16 minutes. I think we're going to see an expanded role from him as the season goes on. So loved what we saw from the Lakers there in their opening game of the season. And looking at the numbers for this game, the odds makers loved it too. We've got the Lakers at -2.5. We've got an over-under of 228.5. Phoenix 0-1 against the spread, 1-0 to the over. The Lakers 1-0 against the spread and 1-0 to the under. Guys, this is a tough spot because I do think the Suns are in a little bit of a bounce back situation, but I love how the Lakers are playing. They're going to be at home for this game. The Suns don't seem that locked in to start the season, to be honest. I do lean, maybe I'm being, captive of the moment, but I want to lean a little bit towards the Lakers. That kind of makes me think we should be taking the Suns, though. If everybody's just like so high on the Lakers after one win over a very disjointed looking Timberwolves team, I think maybe it's time to go ahead and take the Suns here. So yeah, slight lean towards Phoenix here, getting 2.5 points on the road. We've got an over-under of 228.5 in this game, and I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm leaning a little bit here towards the under. I don't think we're going to see such a crazy amount of points scored. The Lakers really don't want to play that way, and I think they can maybe not impose their will on the game, but I do think, there's something that can be done there by them to, make this a little bit more low scoring of the game. We do see Bradley Beal on the injury report, but he's listed as probable for this one, so we're going to expect him to play. And guys, I'm going to be taking the Phoenix Suns here at +2.5, at least as a small lean, and maybe a little bit of a look at that under. Last but not least, guys, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans going on the road to take on the Portland Trailblazers. The Pelicans come into this game fresh off of a 123-111 win there over the Chicago Bulls. We saw Brandon Ingram go absolutely nuts out there, scoring 23 points in his season opener, and CJ McCollum was right there with him, looking very good. The Pelicans shot 14 of 37 from 3. They did a good job on the glass. They did get out rebounded, but 42 boards there in a game where they did not have Zion. Not a terrible look. Daniel Tice played some decent minutes there in the starting lineup. We saw some guys come in off the bench and do some positive things. We saw Hawkins 3 of 6 from deep off the bench and 7 rebounds. He was playing very well. This is a team that, flashed a little bit of depth, and this was in a game without Zion. Unfortunately, we also saw Dejounte Murray suffer a broken hand in this game. He scored 14 points, but only 4 of 15 from the field. Definitely feeling the effects, but he had 10 assists in the game. Kind of sucks to see him go down so early. We'll have CJ McCollum back at point guard, I would imagine. We had Herb Jones play a pretty bad game, 1 of 6 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. Not what we expect to see from him in the long term. And guys, we have Zion Williamson back for this game, back out there for the Pelicans. That is immediately going to give them quite the boost, but they really have to be super pumped seeing what they saw from Brandon Ingram in game 1. If they get anything close to this version of Brandon Ingram, this team suddenly looks very scary. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the hapless Portland Trailblazers, who didn't get their season off to a great start, although it might have been predictably tough going up against a very deep, very talented looking Warriors team. We saw, Portland not at the best time. Scoot Henderson, definitely a guy they want to be really keeping an eye on. It'd be very nice if he could develop a little bit. He was 7 of 18 from the field, but 0 of 5 from 3. That's not a great look. He had 2 turnovers, 4 assists. Seems like he's maybe headed in the right direction. We saw some positive things from guys like Jeremy Grant. Aiden, only 5 of 12 from the field. He did have 11 rebounds, so that's nice. He only had 1 turnover. Just not really a team that's built to be winning this season, but I do think they're going to surprise some teams at times this year. So we'll see what we get from the Trailblazers here. We've got the Blazers getting 6 points at home. We've got an over-under of 217.5 in this one. The Pelicans are 1-0 against the spread and 1-0 to the over. Portland 0-1 against the spread and 1-0 to the over themselves. Guys, I definitely think there's some value here on the over 217.5. Certainly seems like a reasonable spot to me. That's a very small number. Unfortunately, I can't give away my side on this game because that's going to be going as a premium pick over at Stump the Spread. But guys, that is unfortunately our last game of the night. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate or any player props that you're looking at, and I'll be more than happy to give you advice on them. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.